Okay, I'm at 8480 Gwilada Drive in Cincinnati, Ohio. I think this is either Amberley Village or it's right there on the edge, maybe Deer Park. But anyway, it's Cincinnati. And we're doing a sanitary lateral inspection for the purchase of a home. We're looking for structural issues mainly, but really anything that would be concerning to the buyer. Our access, this is the second pass. We came in and this line was just completely packed full of residue and stuff from the cast iron, so I was unable to get through it. So the line's been cleaned. We're going to go on through, try to go from here again. This is cast iron. Again, cast iron is it's not a bad material, but it does rust, obviously. And so, because of that, it tends to be rougher on the inside. And so you do want to pay attention to what you're flushing down through there. There are situations with cast iron, a lot of times you'll have, it's more prevalent to have soft cloths, which would be like from excessive toilet paper, or wet wipes are a big issue because wet wipes do cause, like, they don't break down like toilet paper, so if they do catch on the rough interior of a cast iron line like this, they will, catch and they can build up behind it. So you don't want to use any wet wipes in general, but much worse with cast iron, due to the fact that it's a lot more likely to catch a hold of something like that. And so as long as you're just using toilet paper and stuff, though, it's not an issue. And so you can't really see what's going on here. I want to mention that most of the time we'll be able to see once we get out and be able to run some water, rinse it off, and then be able to go from there as far as seeing. Now this looks like this is the clean out in the front of the basement underneath the edge of that shelving. That was also inaccessible last time, and they did clear that, and they were able to get it open. So now we just want to try to run some water through here. You can see you got all that goo from the inside of the cast iron, and that's where the issues come in. Looks like we had some buildup right here. And a little bit of cracked pipe and stuff going on. I thought that the cleaning, they might have. So there's a lot of buildup of stuff right here. And so I don't know how far they went out. I don't know why they wouldn't have gone out further when they cleaned the line. But hopefully get all the way out to the main, and then we'll be able to come back. It looks like there's some cracking. It's really hard to get a good look at where this is going. We may end up having to push all the way out, hopefully rinse the camera off in the main, and then we'll be able to pull back. We'll go out to at least try to run some water there in the basement. Try to see how the line is functioning also. Looks like most of this is pretty good structure. It looked like somewhere around the house, the first one out, there were some issues, some cracks and some breaks in the line. But obviously, with the camera being as easy as it is right now, it's hard to see. So, like I said, we'll get out there, we'll rinse the camera head off, and we should be able to see a lot better when we pull back. hitting something heavy. This might be a broken pipe here. I can't really tell, or if it's a turn. Anything caught in there that were built up in the line. Doesn't look good though. I'm going to pause the video and we're going to run some water in the basement bathroom. See if we can get some water flowing out there, rinse the camera off, take a better look at this line. Okay, well, you can see we're not getting past this point. It does seem to be that this line has collapsed. You got all kinds of rock stuff down in the line. Now, this doesn't necessarily mean this is where this is from. But it actually looks like there's a break in the line there. Can't really see above it. But it does look like the line is broke above it. If you can see just enough, there's some cracks and stuff going on there. So I am going to have to pause the video here at 100 feet. You can see the hole, all the buildup, the rocks. And so I am going to pause the video right here. I'm at a 47-degree angle, which is probably going to make it pretty difficult to locate. Hopefully I get a decent locate. A lot of times with the large angles like that, it's hard to get it because of the way it's laying. It kind of fools the receiver. But at any rate, we'll be able to tell exactly where it is as far as, you know, the depth might not be perfect though. But we're at 103 feet, and so maybe near the street, which could indicate, you know, a problem for the Metropolitan Sewer District. But I'm going to pause the video and find out. Okay, so we are not quite to the street. It is marked with a green flag and some green paint. It is 5 foot 9 inches deep. Obviously we can't get past this point, and so, but it looks like it's crumbled and broken in this area. So as we pull back now, we should be able to see a lot better and take a better look at the line. But that was what, 103 feet? Yeah, you can see it's all broke. So it's going to have to be repaired, and you still don't know what the remainder of the line looks like. The good news is past this point, it should be the responsibility of the sewer district. And you could contact them and see if they would do anything that far up in the yard, but I'm going to assume they probably won't at this point just because it's borderline. But you never know, and you may ask them to come back and inspect it from the main because of that. But I'd say the best chance would be because it's so close, and if they find anything past that point, if they were to look at it from the back, I don't know if they would. But either way, and it could be worse, it's not as deep as it could be. But you really wish that I could get around it, but there's just too much debris piled up and broken in that area. But hopefully we don't see any other issues in through here, but I believe that right as it exited, there was a big buildup of stuff as it exited the house. So there may be a couple spot repairs needed. Just looks like a little bit of calcite or mineral deposits. I don't know how far out we did a cleaning.
assuming they didn't get out to that, they didn't get past that 103-foot mark. But hopefully they did more than just cast iron. Most of this is looking pretty good. I mean, the good news is as we go, you know, the line's not filling up with water or anything, even though it is flowing. Yeah, there's a little cave cricket. There looks like a hub. That looks like, you see the black there? That is a little, like either a reducing hub or something, like a repair was made. We have some cracking going on in that repair, but it's still holding shape. So we'll take a look, but that part is still holding shape. It has some longitudinal cracking, but this is the part that gets me, is this stuff going through here. That is just a turn made. It's not horrible, and then we're back into the cast iron. So it does look like maybe when they cleaned it, they didn't go out very far. And so when they went out to when they got out to here, and they got all the junk past here, this area in through here where there's just a lot of junk buildup. And I don't know if it's because that's where that looks like all the buildup from the cast iron, see all that? And so it looks like maybe that's as far as they went with the jetter. Was, 30, 40 feet. And so I'm trying to push it. I'm trying to clear it out of here to take a better look at the line in this area. But I'm trying to push some of this out. I should have probably rinsed it on out into the main, because all this cast iron buildup can build up and catch a bunch of stuff in it. I mean, you can see the cracking and the dropping in this area, so there may be a reason why all that stuff is stuck there. But it does look like another break, and it is all cracking. I'm going to sit right here in the center of this. I'm going to try to push some of it out. Right in through there, you can see it's kind of dropped. So maybe that's why all this stuff is built up. But I'm going to pause the video here. We're going to get a locate. I believe it's right past the foundation. Okay, so this is right inside the landscaping and stuff off the driveway, just outside the front of the house. On this side of the garage. And so you can see the buildup of a lot of this is from when they cleaned. It's all the pieces of cast iron where they, cleaned the line. And so they must not have pushed it out very far, but there is still cracking in that area. Obviously, we could see that, and breaking. It looks like it's dropping. It's not fully dropped, but you can see maybe there are pieces that we can't see. But it looks like that connection is dropped enough to, all this stuff is building up in that spot. So I keep trying to push through there and see if I can push some of this stuff down the line, but it's not really helping much. Let's see all this chunks of
where they did the flushing. But yeah, I'm going to go to about here and show, because you can see that there's some breaking and stuff in here, but I believe that that was from a repair made, but we're still going to mark this because you can see pieces floating around, so that couldn't be the earth. Thought maybe that was a hub, but the more and more I look at it, I see the breaks. There's that cave cricket. You can see the breaks in the bottom left-hand corner where the pipe is missing. So we'll go down to right around in here. It looks like got most of that stuff. But so right around in here is where that stuff starts. Yeah. So I'm going to get a locate here also, and then I'm going to recommend that the line, if nothing else, will be evaluated by a licensed plumber for their opinion on severity and quote of repair if necessary. But the one out by the street is definitely going to have to be repaired at that 103 feet. But then this section here too is probably going to need to be repaired also. So I'll pause the video and get another locate. All right. So from about 41 feet, Cave Cricket, I must have got him. Here's this break here. Because of all the cracking downstream of this, from about 32 feet to about 41 feet. Looks like that is going to need to be repaired. If you're going to dig it up for that spot, for this spot here, you might as well take it down where they where the cracking ends and the breaking ends. So not a great thing, but will need to be repaired. You can see how that's all dropping down to 32. I said 32 to about 41. You see the hole inside the pipe. And so I would take, with all this stuff building up, there's probably some pieces of clay that are also there, and then the cracking and the breaking ends at this joint. Everything past this point down to that 103 feet look okay. And 32 to 41 feet should be replaced. But the bad thing is it's right there and all that stuff. But it could fall in at any minute the shape that it's in. And so you do want to get that taken care of. You can't go all the way back to the cast iron. There's where the bathroom comes in, downstairs bathroom. We were unable to inspect that branch, obviously, because the only way to access it would be to pull the toilet and or remove other fixtures. But this has all been cleaned down. It looks like it's not in the best of shape, but I mean, as far as overall condition, but you know, it's rusty. It looks just about like old cast iron for the most part. It just looks nasty, but it is functioning. So as long as you don't put wet wipes and other things like that down the line, it should function fine for a while. It's just a normal cast iron line, honestly. And so we're already back in the drum, obviously, and so not the best inspection there. From 32 to 41 feet should be replaced, probably back to about 25 feet, where we're pretty close to that, where it comes out of the house as the cast iron. I would just go from the edge of the cast iron out to about 41 feet. And replace that section of clay. It does have it's up here basically from the house out to the sidewalk in that area with the trees and the rocks, so it could be kind of difficult digging. But the big issue right now that's preventing any normal flow and completion of any inspection is at 103 feet. That line is broke and has a bunch of rocks and stuff in the line, so it's in pretty bad shape. And so I'm going to recommend that both of those things get referred to a licensed plumber for repair. And then, if possible, they can inspect the remainder of the line. You could also contact the Metropolitan Sewer District about where that final locate is out by the street. It was like 5'9" is how deep it is, but it was close enough to the street where it may be something that they're responsible for, but I don't think so. I think it's on private property, and they're probably going to tell you the homeowner's responsible. But it does need to be repaired. The two up close, I want to go ahead and mention that the ones that are up here in the flower bed, one of them is like 4'1", and I think the other one is like 5 foot. But it will be on the report as far as the depths. I'll make sure that those are on the report also. But yep, it's going to need a couple repairs to make sure that it's good for years to come. So that's going to end the inspection at 8480 Gwilada Drive in Cincinnati, Ohio.